Yeah. It's time, y'all. It's
Yeah,
time
man.
for Unk and Few in the building. Championship weekend, second to last episode, y'all, of season 4. Man, we've been through this journey together since September. We're gonna finish it
Yeah.
off on a high note, man. I want y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe. Holler at us, Unk. How you doing, my man? Let's go.
I'm doing okay. Definitely excited for
Yeah.
these games and all that stuff. But man, oh man, it's cold over here, man. Like after getting
Oh,
pummeled with snow for like a week, now this cold weather shows up. It's just like good weather for sitting inside on a couch watching championship football. I will tell you that.
let me tell you something, man. It's it felt like minus 35. That's what they were saying in OT. I don't know how it is on your end, but this polar vortex, man, is teaching me the value of staying indoors.
Yeah, Ottawa Valley is
Woo!
notoriously colder than over here, right? Like we got the Great Lakes to
Mm,
sort of moderate temperatures a little bit. Y'all are just
right.
isolated.
Man, we are in the cut. We're deep into it, man. Every time I go outside, I look like I'll wrap up, bro. Scarf, hat,
Yeah,
gloves, everything. I'm doubling, triple layering, fam. I'm doing needing all the insulation.
we all feeling kind of Arctic this week, man. Even in Toronto, they're getting like minus 20, right? Like that's rare for them.
And I'm telling you right now, y'all, stay inside, stay warm, stay safe, and stay having fun, man. I say it like this, man. Are the people in Pittsburgh feeling kind of cold? Are they feeling kind of cold? By the way, y'all start off by liking the stream and supporting us. This was not on our rundown, but this was urgent. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's urgent for us to discuss. Let's get
That's
into it.
breaking news. It's breaking
Breaking
news.
news. Mike McCarthy, former coach of the Dallas Cowboys, most notoriously known for the Green Bay Packers job, got hired verbally. It wasn't written in ink yet.
I was gonna
Yesterday
say.
by the Steelers. Talk to us, Unc. What are your first immediate thoughts, reactions? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, has it been confirmed as yet? But I started hearing those rumors at the start of the weekend, and I
Right.
personally am not against this hire. You've got a lot of people who are really up in the air, like saying, "Oh my God, Steelers! Like, who are they going to get? Who is like, they've hired 3 coaches in 60 years, and when you hire a coach in, in Pittsburgh, it's for good." And I'm like,
Right.
where are these rules written down? I'm like, I mean, that worked out for the Steelers. That's great, right? They always had long
Right.
runways to figure out what they were going to do next, right? People forget
Right.
that. People forget that like Cowher was hired after a
Mm.
long period of time where Chuck Noll's game had sort of been declining. Like you notice Chuck Noll
Mm.
and Tomlin have an almost identical winning record. Tomlin is 1 win short
Yes.
of Chuck Noll's record. But
Yes.
Chuck Noll did it in
Mhm.
23 years instead of like 18,
Mm.
right? So yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So Tomlin has a slightly
Mhm.
better winning record, but this is the
Right.
first time where they found themselves with a short runway to find the coach they're looking
Mm.
for. So what
Mm.
in fact Pittsburgh has done here with the McCarthy hire, and I approve. It's an offensive-minded coach.
Okay.
Um,
Mm.
Possibly might even like get Rodgers to stick around for another year, thus, bridging once again the quarterback issue. But bridge is
Right.
the word here, right? McCarthy's
Mm.
also a Pittsburgh guy too, right? So he's going to be an easy
Right.
fit. It's going to be an easy fit. But the thing is,
Mhm.
though, people are carrying on about, oh, he's like 65 or 62. Or I'm like, it's a bridge coach. They'll find
Right.
their next wunderkind genius maybe next year, maybe the year after. They got a
Right.
McCarthy for 5 years, right? Like,
Right.
I don't have anything against this hire whatsoever, right? We've got the defensive
Mhm.
horses. You get a
Mhm.
good D coordinator in there. And just and let McCarthy see if he can dial up a little bit better offense and let
Right. Right.
the defense run on momentum. Like to me, this is we're looking at probably another 10-7 year.
And that's the thing that had me a bit concerned because McCarthy is good for a 10-7 record. You know what I mean? Or maybe a 9-8, right?
That
But I
sells
feel
in
like Steeler
Pittsburgh.
fans. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, don't Pittsburgh fans want more? Like, because think about it. If you've been having just a winning record, barely scraping into the playoffs, Don't you want maybe some younger blood? But if this makes sense as a bridge coach, what
Yeah,
this
that's the way you got to
was
look at it.
setting up for the next generation, because I don't see McCarthy staying there for like 6 years, or
No,
not
man,
not
that
19 like Tomlin. You know what I'm saying?
this is going to be like two or three
Yeah,
years. The
right.
Steelers are going to find their wunderkind, as I say, right? They're going to find some 35-year-old, young defensive guy that's just, they
Right.
just know, right? Like they did with Tomlin, like they did with Cower, like they did with Noel way back at the moon landing, right? um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, you've got some hand
Uh,
wringing among the mainstream media over this hire, but I don't see it as anything other than just very practical and logical. This move,
I also think in general, the quarterback market is so bad, especially this coming draft. I don't think it would be a good idea to draft a guy. It makes sense for them to go with Rodgers again, because McCarthy is going to encourage Rodgers to get out there.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're going to do
Well,
Rodgers is going to
and
stay a bit more. Yeah,
Rogers
that's how I
is,
think.
of course, Rogers is extremely familiar with the McCarthy system,
There
right?
you
Like
go. There
it's going
you
to be a
go.
natural fit.
What y'all need is a receiver, though. Y'all really need a pass
Big,
catcher. So
big time.
hopefully there's somebody in the draft. I'll say this: Baltimore, we got our guy. I'm happy about Jesse Mentor. Yeah, man. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
41-year-old DC for LA Chargers got hired last week. I think his intro press conference is next week. He also has some history with Harbaugh, meaning he was in Baltimore as a DB coach. I
Yep.
think in 22, he also was in Michigan. I remember when Jim had to be suspended by the NCAA, he came in and coached one of the games there. So
Yes.
Mentor has a Harbaugh connection, and I think he even had a dad who coached. So it's a good hire. 41 years old, so I think Steve Bisciotti was trying to have him as a long-term guy, defensive coordinator type of guy, and I hope, that's my hope, he brings back that vaunted Ravens defense, because it's been a while, bro. It's been a
Well,
while.
well, as a couple of podcasts, I think it was Shannon Sharp put it out there, and he's just like,
Right.
great hire, but let's not forget that Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis are not coming with him, right? So
They're not walking through that door, bro. That's a fact.
right, so
They're
there's some work to do there in Baltimore, but yeah, what a great hire. I mean, like we were talking about a young defensive
right.
wonderkind, for Pittsburgh. I mean, there you have it, right there.
Right.
That's who Jesse Minter is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Baltimore got in there first, right? So, like I said,
Oh,
just
sorry.
going back to the Pittsburgh thing for just a second, like the Pittsburgh thing, they're
Yeah.
caught so off guard by it all. I think they're just like, we'll catch
Yeah.
up with all this next year, right? So, but whereas Baltimore, on the other hand, has found their long-term solution.
You know how I look at it too. This could go in a very good way. Remember the Gerard Mayo situation in New England,
Sure.
where
Yeah.
they had basically Gerard Mayo was you know what I'm saying, like an in-between type coach, and then they got their guy in
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel. All right. Talking and you know what? I think that's possible in this situation too. You might need some steady force to hand off the baton to the next generation. Let's
Hmm.
hopefully. I don't think McCarthy's taking a lot of people to the promised land. It's been a while, bro. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's
Yeah.
interesting that you mentioned about passing the baton. Hasn't
Right.
this season and now especially the playoffs really felt
Right.
like that? Like a
Yes.
generational change is occurring. Look at the age of the final four coaches involved, right?
Let's
And
talk
look
about it.
and look at all the quarterbacks involved, right? Like there's no
Mhm.
other than Stafford. Stafford is the only throwback to a previous
Right.
generation that's left in this playoff.
Think about it, man. Apparently, this is what's really interesting. We're getting Sean and Mike versus Sean and Mike. Let me say that again. Mike
I guess,
Vrabel,
huh?
yeah, versus Sean Payton, right? Sean
Yeah,
McVay versus Mike
Mike
McDonald, bro.
McDonald.
Crazy. Isn't that crazy?
That's a
Man,
fascinating coincidence.
crazy coincidence. But I'll tell you what's not a coincidence. CJ Stroud's level of play, bro. Let's
Woo.
review the games from last week. Really, really bad performance by CJ Stroud. The Pats win the game 28-16. It wasn't that close, guys. It was a domination. Maybe at halftime it looked somewhat possible, but New England put the foot up the behind in the rear end and said, nope, you're not winning. Unc,
But
tell us your thoughts about that game.
Well, I kept waiting for the Texans to, really lock it down on defense, but they never did. They never really
No.
prevented May from running or passing the ball, right? So they
Right.
definitely got to him. They of his like 66 dropbacks, the guy was pressured on 31 of them, and they sacked him how many times? 4 times, right? He had a couple turnovers. Like May definitely got it, taken to the woodshed by the Texans defense, but the Texans
Yes.
offense was so pathetic that they couldn't take advantage of it. And in the end, the Texas defense finally withered, right? Because,
Right.
they could see that it was all for nothing. So
Right.
if you look at the scoreboard,
Mm.
it's an impressive win by the Pats. And
Yeah.
led by May, etc. But the thing that most caught my attention was that what
Mm.
we spent all week talking about how great the Texans' pass rush was and how great the Texans' D was. Pats did all right. Right? Maybe it's
Yes.
because they had
Really, really
maybe it's because
well.
they had a Statue of Liberty in the backfield to chase. But with
Yeah.
Stroud just being immobile and like a deer in the headlights back there, so I mean maybe that helped them out. But let's be real here. After trashing the Pats all season long, chalking their winning streak up to a weak schedule and all that stuff, they have now
Yeah.
in successive weeks, pretty much over the last month, faced some of the best teams in the NFL and have not withered.
No, no. You know what? They made me eat crow. I'm talking about the Pats here because I talked about their cupcake schedule. I said, bruh, you guys are just cakewalking into the
Mhm.
playoffs. But guess what? That was a dominant performance in the raid.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a lot of credit to the DBs of New England, Christian
Yes.
Gonzalez, and the other guy on the other end. I forget his name. They were shutting Ish down. Even though Stroud had a horrible performance, he did, but he was getting outplayed. The DBs knew the defense of the
Mhm.
Pats, not
Yep.
the Titans. The Texans looked
Yep.
really elite. So
That's
it's
what
like,
I was
whoa,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
Like into the fourth quarter, I was saying to myself, damn, like they're really getting after Stroud.
Yes, yes. They were adding pressure. They were getting pass breakups. Everything was dominant, and it showed me the
Yeah.
Texans really need to fix their offense because Will Anderson did his thing. Danielle Hunter did his thing. Drake May had 4 fumbles. This is something with
I,
4.
I know.
You know?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I'm pretty sure that Stroud is washed in Houston. I am pretty sure that people were
Yeah.
chanting to
No, I
Davis
agree.
Mills. I feel that they should have put Davis Mills in.
I
Like
agree too.
in the
I
second
agree
quarter,
too.
probably they would have won that game, right?
100%.
Right now,
100%.
you have to
Yeah.
make the argument that Davis Mills is the better of those two quarterbacks, and CJ Stroud, I'm pretty sure, is destined to be a backup somewhere.
I'm on that train of thought too, man. He looked not confident in the pocket. His
Not a
throws were
starting
missing
quarterback.
everywhere. Davis Mills actually was giving them good work when CJ was out on injury. It's going to be an interesting year because this is, I think they might franchise tag CJ because his contract year is coming up. You see what I'm saying?
You're
So they have
right.
to make a decision. Do they give him the bag, the
They will
super
not.
bag,
They
or
will
will they
not.
not? And if they're
They-
smart, do not let them prove it.
There's
Prove it.
no way they are giving him the golden Willy Wonka ticket.
Yeah,
Not after what he did in back-to-back games. Right? The
man.
first one against the
Yeah,
Steelers, you could like chalk that up to Steeler magic, right?
right,
It's just what they do.
right.
But there ain't no damn Pats magic. Not in
No,
about 10 years, right? So
no, no.
that was just a straight up beatdown of Stroud.
I think it's also confidence wise, man. He did not
Well,
look
that's what
confident
happens
at
to your
all.
confidence when you get beat down.
Yeah, straight up. But I'm gonna tell you, the most confident guy in the game of football right now, his name's Caleb Williams. Just stop playing. Stop playing with this guy.
Ooh, love me
The
some
cold,
Caleb.
the
Well,
Iceman.
look at the transformation we've made on Caleb, right? Like, so
Yes. If you listen to us in September on this pod, man,
or even
we
last year.
unanimous. Even last year, we had our questions. Well, the
Well,
Iceman cometh, and the Iceman shut us up.
well, remember,
A lot of crow I'm eating. Go ahead.
remember,
Mm,
where did we start with Caleb, right? It's like the fingernail thing,
right.
right? And we were giving him a hard
Fingernail.
time about that. But you know what I came to find out?
Go
His
ahead.
mom his mom is a nail technician or his aunt or somebody. Like he grew up in that culture
Oh,
of nails. So
I
like it
didn't even
wasn't
know.
peculiar to him. But you know how he responded to it though, right? Because other, some players were grumbling, right? And he met
Right,
the
right.
moment, stopped doing that, right? Buckled down, right? Just
Mm,
paid attention. And look at him
yeah.
now.
You could say that he bared down. What they say?
Aren't you a
I
punny
get
motherfucker?
a little pun right there. He bared down. He didn't bear down enough to beat the Rams, though. Unfortunately, lost 20-17 in a
What a game,
very
though.
entertaining game, though. Low scoring, entertaining. What were your quick hits on this game?
Man, oh man. Like, yeah, if you needed a reason to be like a believer in Caleb's
Oh,
sort of future and what his potential is, I mean, the Cole Kmet touchdown, what was it, 4th and 8 or something like that? 52
yeah,
yard pass that was actually only a 14-yard pass. The guy ran 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage to get away from the rush, right? Doing all
crazy.
the wrong things. You're going the wrong way. Right. And then he plants his back foot and finds Cole Kmet in one of the most ridiculous touchdown passes I've ever seen in the playoffs. That was up there with the catch, man. Like,
Yeah.
oh man. What? And then, but just in the end, the inevitable happened, right? Like LA prevailed. And how did they
Yeah.
prevail? On a rainbow shot that should have been completed by DJ Moore, but instead got
Oh,
picked off, right? Like Caleb is just all gas,
man.
no brakes in the fourth quarter and overtime. It's just exciting.
Man, I loved it. I love the fact that he was willing to take that risk. That type of, by the way, if DJ Moore kept going and used some work on that, he would have caught it. The DB became the receiver in that
Yep.
situation. And Caleb, I don't blame him for shooting for that because he was on fire. The offense was rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had stopped Stafford and the Rams
Well,
on their first possession,
and
right?
so that brings up
Yeah.
the ultimate armchair quarterback question, right? Should they have
Talk
used
to me,
that
bro.
momentum to go for the 2 points instead of like the safe tie, right? All logical
Yeah.
coaching says preserve the tie and go for the win in overtime, right? That is sort of
Yeah.
the playoff playbook. But the momentum they had after that, right? I have a feeling that
Oh my
I have a
God.
feeling that they could have punched it in, like between Caleb,
Oh,
Monangai, or Swift, right? Like, come on, man, they could have got that. But
and you
that's
know
just
what?
armchair
Run further.
quarterbacking. That's
Yeah.
armchair quarterbacking. If they had failed at it, people would
Oh,
have people would have had the nooses out for the coach, man. Like that was not going to go to
yeah.
good. If he had
Yeah.
just fumbled that opportunity, ruined that opportunity, right? Like some people would have given his flowers for courage, but everybody else would have been said, "What the hell are you doing? Just kick the extra point."
You're absolutely right, man. We're kind of you're right. It's armchair quarterbacking because hindsight is 2020. You know what I'm saying? Had
Exactly.
we known the
Exactly.
result, but you know what? After you do such a magical play, as the coach, I'll say F it. Caleb, run it in. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be at the 5 yard line. It's go for two. Win this game with 10 seconds left.
He's
Ice
quick
it.
and
You know what I
slippery. He
mean?
would have been in there before anybody knew what had happened.
And think about it like this. That was in Chicago, brother. They would have had no, actually it would be because in this situation, Seattle would have won. Yeah, they'd have to play in Seattle, but still,
Yeah.
that would have been probably one of the biggest Chicago moments, sports moments in a big sports city such as Chicago, man. That would have
Well,
been
probably,
massive.
probably, probably their
Yeah.
biggest moment since
Mm.
when was the last time Chicago had a team in the World Series? Was it after
Oh,
after they'd won the Stanley Cup a couple of times with the
sometimes like
Blackhawks?
that. Yeah, yeah. I think that were the Cubs in like they were in like
I think they were in a few
20.
years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Let me switch it up. Actually, yeah,
but
yeah.
the
Let me switch
biggest
it up.
moments in Chicago sports history recently has been the Blackhawks winning a couple of cups back about
Mm,
15 years ago. But it's certainly
yes.
the biggest moment in Chicago Bears football history since the Cutler days.
Oh,
Right?
100%. And
So
I'm
20
looking at it right
years.
now. The Cubs won in 2016 versus the Cleveland Indians. Now
Okay,
they're
so still
combining.
10 years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, literally 10 years ago. You're correct. It would be a bigger Chicago moment in 10 years. But I'll give you
Right?
this. They have their guy. I'm talking about Chicago now, and they have their coach. I'm talking about Ben Johnson. So
Hmm.
the future looks very bright. You just have to put Caleb Williams in and give him help him to work on simple, boring type of plays because he's gonna make a magical play whenever he's
Well,
that talented. But once you get him in a regular passing situation, some more checkdowns, game managing, I think he has another level he can reach. Personally
oh,
speaking, right?
easily. Yeah, there's at least another
Yeah,
couple levels in there in Caleb. I'm sure of it too.
yeah,
And also too, like you see how the defense tightened up as the season went along. Always a good
yes,
sign, always a good building block for next year. So yeah,
mhm,
like Chicago's actually in that position where
yeah.
like what are our needs really, right? They can actually say like, okay, let's this draft first 3 rounds, linemen. Right?
Straight up,
Right?
pass rushers.
Because they're
Yeah,
pretty good. They're pretty good on
yeah.
running back, wide receiver, tight end, right?
Tight end, of
Quarterback.
course. Yeah,
Like their skill
yeah.
positions are pretty well set, right?
Yeah, I like it. I liked it, and I'm gonna obviously let's give our respect to the other team, or the team that actually won the Rams
Yeah.
for being
Yeah,
clutch.
really.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Making the plays when they were there. Devontae Adams on that critical, I think it was a third down play that really iced the game in overtime, put them in field goal range. Puka went off. Stafford did not have a crazy great game, but guess what? No turnovers, right?
Yeah.
No turnovers. And that's been a theme in this entire situation that is the playoffs. It's also been a theme on a team that uh, we got to talk about it. The Hurricanes, they lost, bro. They lost. They lost. Or rather, we can say that Indiana won. So, Unc, what was your thoughts, man? I,
I'm
I
gonna
was
put it
sad.
to
I
you
was
like
sad. I
this.
wanted to you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put it to you like this.
Yes, sir.
Miami Hurricanes are the best college football team in America,
Mhm.
and they unfortunately lost to a pro team out of Indiana. Um,
Facts.
right? Because it really was a systemic program win for Signetti. Because if you look at the stats, man. In fact, I've been saving them on my phone here just for this conversation.
Go ahead,
Miami
Unc.
acquitted
Yeah.
itself very well.
Mm.
Miami outgained Indiana total yards by they had 342 yards versus 317, 232
Oh,
passing versus only 186 for Mendoza. Rushing
oh,
yards, rushing yards. Yes, they outrushed Miami by about 20 yards, but that was with 2 different running backs, and they averaged less than 3 yards a carry. Right. Meanwhile, that
mm.
Miami, that 110 yards, that 110 yards from Miami, I'll tell you about that.
Yeah.
That was a Mr. Fletcher, Mark
Yes,
Fletcher
Fletcher
Jr.
Jr.
with a
Yep. Yep.
6.6 yards per tote average, 17
Wow.
carries for 112 yards. Beck
Wow.
lost 5 yards at 7 yards at one point. So it comes down off of the team average. But I'm telling you,
Mhm.
man, like all the stars were on
Mhm.
the Miami side. Um,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like there are no real disparities. The time of possession,
Mm.
the 10 minutes more for Indiana, and they had more
Yeah.
plays. So, like, inevitably, the system finally overcame Miami's brilliance. That's my
Yeah.
summation of that game. Is Miami played above their heads. Miami made me super proud in a loss. They were not
Mm.
out of it until the final minute of play. And if it wasn't for
Yeah.
Mendoza playing John Elway into the end
Ooh.
zone with that
Ooh.
helicopter, like he literally took several for the team on that play. He got
Yes,
bounced
he
around,
did.
but man, oh man, like that was a gutsy play, and that was the game.
That was a gutsy play, man. And let me tell you this, visually watching the game, Miami looked like the better team, man.
They did.
Especially the second half
Carson
of the
Beck
game.
outplayed Mendoza, just like I told you he would
He
want
did.
to.
He did. He did. Without that play by Mendoza, I'm talking about Miami wins. And without
Yep.
that, I think another critical play was that blocked punt for a
Mm.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Had that
Oh,
not
I forgot about
had that
that.
not,
That was
yeah,
brilliant. That was brilliant. Like you have to give it up.
I have to give it up to Signetti for coaching up because they definitely drew that up because it's happened multiple times in the season. Indiana has had special teams plays that were in the clutch, and that's great. What some great coaches do. But you're right. You're talking about straight skill players, quarterback, running back. Tony, the Malachi Tony, one of my favorite
Malachi
players to watch.
Tony, another
They
insane
showed up.
skill player.
Yes, sir. Even the pass rush, Mesidor had 2 sacks.
The
Ottawa
pass
guy,
rush
by the
was
way.
everything. I'm telling you,
Pass rush
man.
was destroying Mendoza. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
bet you at least half a dozen of those Canes get drafted.
100%. The Canes are going to be in the draft. But let's see what Cignetti can do in year 3, because a lot of these guys are going to the NFL, but the Indiana guys, and a lot of them, let's keep it real. I'm not going to try to put some hate on Indiana. A lot of these guys were like 23, 24, bro. I'm sorry.
I
I just got to
know.
keep it real. They're
That's what I'm
older
saying.
guys.
That's why
I'm
I'm
sorry,
calling them
man.
a pro team. That's why I'm calling them a pro team, right? Like,
Straight
and
up. Straight
and I
up. You
like
know what
I can't believe Signetti isn't going to the NFL. Like
I mean? Right.
you've just done it. You've just reached the king of the hill status in college
Yeah.
football. The only thing there
Yeah.
is to do now is to go on a run and get 3 or 4 more of these things, right? And that's hard to do. So like,
Yeah.
and I take one look at Signetti. Like the guy's
Yeah.
62. He looks like he's 48. He's got that Mel Kiper hair. That guy was
Yeah.
born to be in the NFL. Like, look at him. The guy's 60. He colors his hair, obviously, right? But look at him. He
Yeah, of
looks
course.
20 years younger than he is.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
think that guy is born to be an NFL coach. I can't believe he's not jumping in, especially in this year.
Man, I'm telling you right now, he's gotten calls. Trust me,
I
he's gotten
guarantee it.
calls. He's gotten calls, but you know what it is? I think so too. I think he wants another one in college, my guess. And I
Mm.
bet them boosters. We're talking about guys like Mark Cuban, billionaires, are giving him that loop, man. Let me tell you something, man. The Big Ten now runs college football. We had Ohio State, Michigan, now Indiana. It's Big Ten country now, man. It's over, not over, but SEC. Ooh, ooh. Let me know your thoughts
So,
about that. What are your thoughts, brother?
the NIL has the transfer portal has made that happen. So
Yes.
for quite a while, the SEC was the emerged with a talent and geography advantage. And that was basically that, you can train all year long down south for one. Not that you can't up in Michigan, but you got to go indoors.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I mean, all programs are year long programs, but there just was this sort of natural inherent advantage that the South had. The other thing that they had was they started the revolution on defense, right? They had speedy linemen, linemen who could go sideline to sideline with a running back, right? You're talking about 280-pound guys who are somehow capable of running a 40 and 4.5 or 4.6, right? Like that's speed, and the rest of the country didn't have it. And that's a product of history, and it just is. And so, anyways, but with the transfer portal opening up and the NIL money coming in the way it has been, that talent can get diffused around the country in a way that it was not 25 years ago. So, yeah, Big Ten's got lots of money. They can bring that talent up from the South.
Hey, man, you think about it like this. Mendoza was spinning the ball at Caltech. Yeah, not Caltech, sorry. At Cal, University of California, a year ago. And then with transfer portal, NIL money, he goes up to Indiana with a program that's already older and good. And boom, now he has a natty in his hand. Credit up to Miami. I'm saying Miami's back, man. I think they're going to be always in contention now. But we got to show the respect to where it's due. Indiana did the improbable and won a natty 2 years in Kirk Cignetti's reign as I think he has a crown. He's the best coach in college ball right now.
He
He
is,
deserves it.
bar
You know what I
none.
mean? And let's talk now about the games coming up. Shout out to the games coming up. Y'all, let's get to the main event topic. Pats versus Broncos, Rams, Seahawks, Unk. We need your breakdown, man. I'm looking now at the Pats, Broncos right here. The money line minus 220 for the Pats. Spread is 3.5 for the Pats. Their favorite in this. They're playing obviously in Denver. We talked about it last week. Mr. Bo Nix is not playing. It's Jared Stidham, who's the ball spinner. Oh, interesting, man. What are your thoughts? What's your breakdown? The over under is 43 points. So they're anticipating a 20-20 some game. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know where to go with this one here.
mm,
All I can say is it's big steady time, man. It's like I love them big stitties. Um,
yeah,
all I
big
know is that
city.
this guy's strength is accuracy and precision. He doesn't have the legs that Bo Nix has, so he's not going to be nearly as mobile. My guess is that Peyton has to adjust the game plan with a lot of really quick releases because, again, with that pass rush coming from the Pats, so he's going to have to get the ball out in under 2.5 seconds. So that means a lot of out patterns
Yeah.
probably to Trey Henderson, a lot of runs by Ramondre. And I'm looking in this one for Hunter Henry. I'm expecting that Hunter Henry is going to be an outlet on the Pats side of the ball, but it's going to be the same thing with Troutman for the Broncos. Right, so I'm
Mm,
expecting that. Now, the big question mark is: does J.K. Dobbins take the field? There's rumors he might be
oh,
off of injury, and if he does,
oh,
that changes everything because the
yes.
Broncos pass rush last week was anemic. They ran for like a total of something like 70 yards or something, right? And it's just like it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
right.
Any Sean Payton offense usually has you can count on him for a buck and at least, right? 100 yards plus running.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we didn't see that last week. So hopefully, if J.K. Dobbins comes back, that takes the ball out of Stidham's hands
Yes.
excessively. Like the one thing you do
Yeah.
not want is Stidham attempting to throw the ball like 30, 40 times. That's not going to be good.
No,
But
no.
then it'll be an indicator that the running game is not working, right? So yeah.
Mhm.
So my thing for in this game is can the Broncos really dial up that offense, or pardon me, that defense, the way it has been reputed throughout the season? But
Mm,
you and I have both pointed out that after about week 10 or 12,
yeah.
the Broncos defense hasn't been nearly quite top five like we were suggesting it was earlier on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we'll have to see how well the Broncos handle that. On the other hand, Pats are 0-4 in the playoffs at Mile High,
Mm,
right?
oh,
So I'm not counting
interesting.
out the Broncos at all in this game. And
Mm,
because of the talent at coach, their game plan, etc. So I'm
mm,
not counting out the Broncos at all in this. On the other hand, like I do think that the Pats certainly have the ability to win this game, and currently right now they've got the better quarterback. So that
yeah.
usually wins the game at this level. On the other hand, they're on the
Mm,
road in a stadium which they have had zero success, but that doesn't involve this team. So
yes.
that's the
Yes.
past, right? The past and today is the present. So I'm at a loss for a real prediction on this. I think my gut tells me that momentum is with the Pats and that they win. It seems highly unlikely to step in with Stidham
Mm,
and win this way. People like to point out to the Nick Foles comparison, but Nick Foles came in like 3 games before the playoffs started, right? Like
yeah. Yeah.
so, and there are a couple other comps in there, but at the end of the day, this is a unique situation for the Broncos, for the NFL, for the playoffs. Like, I don't think there is a solid comp that is like,
Mm.
okay, guy got injured, you're going into the conference championship game next week.
We've never, at least in my time watching football, I've not seen something like this, especially this late in the season. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I remember a
Yeah.
few years ago when Peyton Manning was having a very injury late season. I think they put in like Brock Osweiler or something like that.
Yes,
But that was like late in the like maybe like week 17,
that's right.
something like that. It
There
was
was a
not
bit of a runway.
yes, they gave him some kind of, little time, but now Jared Stidham is put in a situation with so high pressure, high stakes.
You know
How
what this
will
is
he
the
handle that?
equivalent of?
Go ahead. Mm.
When you're entering the expressway
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's like everybody's going by at like 60, 70 miles an hour, right? And you've got that
Yeah,
long cloverleaf ramp to get your speed up to almost highway speed by the time you merge into traffic, right?
yeah,
jared
of course.
jared Stidham is that guy with the flashers on the side of the road on the he's in the shoulder, he's got his tire changed, and now he's got to
Okay.
start the car and get up to highway speed from zero. Right, like that.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Right? Because that's what we're dealing with here, man. Everybody else is zooming down at 70 miles an hour, and this guy's got to start from zero. and enter
Oh
traffic
my
and merge
God.
safely into traffic.
Yeah, he's got to merge in, man, into the biggest traffic zone, man, the biggest expressway, the most
Right?
important one. You know what I'm
Right? And
saying?
he's starting from 0 miles an hour. He's starting from a standing start.
Oh my God, man. Like you said, man, great analysis. I'm gonna go the other way, man. I'm gonna say the Broncos find a way.
Because
Why
they
do I
have all
say
year.
this? They had all year, and I'm thinking if Sean Payton is the coach who we think he is, he's gotten Stidham prepared mentally and maybe physically. Because I'll say this, Bo Nix had a great performance last week. I don't expect Stidham to replicate it. I expect, like you said, power running type of game. If J.K. Dobbins is there, R.J. Harvey is going to get a lot of carries. Everybody's going to be running the ball, maybe 20 pass attempts for Stidham, a lot of screen passes, a lot of short, you know what I mean, check downs. You're not going to see over the top. They're not going to test Christian Gonzalez or those
Mhm.
DBs. I anticipate that. But the Pats, if they do the right thing, if Drake May goes off, it might not even matter. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I anticipate a close defensive game. Broncos edge it out, but we'll see. That's why we watch the games, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. No, I'm really intrigued to see this game. I really, really am.
yes, sir.
Because I literally cannot think of who is actually going to win this. Like there are a couple of competing scenarios and both of them are valid.
Absolutely, man. And but here's the thing: we're getting around three of a very interesting game here, talking about the Seahawks versus the Rams. The lines are looking. Seahawks are favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
Minus 140 on the money line. Over under is 46. They're playing in Seattle. Seattle is a very hard place to play. And if Kenneth Walker the third does what he did, I don't think it might even matter. Unc, what are your quick thoughts? What's your quick breakdown of the
Well,
Stafford versus Darnold battle round three?
I feel the same way about this game as I did the Pats Broncos game. There are a couple of different competing narratives here of how this game could go down, and we've seen them play out this season. We saw
Yes, sir.
a hyper offensive game one night. We saw another game. It was super defensive. The third one was somewhere in the middle. Right. So
Right.
there's a
Yeah.
couple of different scenarios that can play out here. The one that that seems most obvious to everybody is that the Seattle defense. They create an incredible amount of pressure. And Stafford's one weakness, well, he's got a few of them, but like his biggest, most glaring weakness is under pressure. So
Yeah.
how he responds to that, could be a blowout. Right. On the
Yeah.
other hand, here's Sam Darnold, who we all know has a propensity to play poorly under pressure, also, and
Yes.
LA
Yeah.
does have some pressure to bring to bear. They do have a solid defensive line,
Mhm.
and so, anyways, we could easily see a scenario where, if Darnold like really does wilt under the pressure, as he has shown a propensity to do sometimes. If he
Yeah.
does, we could find ourselves in a super competitive game whereby LA just sort of pulls it out with experience, with Sean McVay,
Mhm.
all these different sort of different types of things. Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams. I mean, they've got good players that can really
Wow.
offensively take it to Seattle if Seattle is anyhow off their game. But I don't see Seattle being off their game. Defense wins these things usually, and Seattle
Yeah.
has by far the best defense. Quarterback's probably a toss-up when you factor in the age.
Mm.
Stafford's hurt his index finger 2 games ago. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of niggling little things that could come to bear here. So in the end, I think this is going to be another close game, probably decided by
Mm.
2 or 3 points at the most.
Right.
I think special teams, again, we talk about the Rams special
Oh,
teams being an Achilles heel for them. We'll see how they perform today under that kind of
right.
pressure with that kind of noise. Um,
Mm.
I think ultimately, the home team is the team to go here, for the defense, for the home crowd.
Mm.
On the other hand, never count out Matt Stafford, right? So we'll see.
No,
But
we shall see.
I'm not sure what the weather is in Seattle, but again, we've noted
Oh,
also too that Stafford isn't great in weather, but he pulled it out last week in weather. So, nothing's
yeah.
promised, nothing's guaranteed in any of this.
This is what's fun about the playoffs, man. You got your singular focus on one or two games in this situation, and you get to deep dive and look at all the scenarios and the anticipation of it. I think I'm going the opposite, man. I'm gonna go with old man Stafford, and why is
Right
that?
on.
I just think the experience is gonna get to him. You know what I mean? Because let me
Right.
tell you something, man. Something showed me this season that Stafford is maybe on another level. He looks so much more dialed in. And I'm going to take, because these teams are very evenly matched. The best argument for the Seahawks, like you said, is their defense that is absolutely elite. Stafford, like you said, he has some Sam Darnold in him. Stafford can throw 3 picks. We've seen that many
Mm-hmm.
times. Everybody want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
Darnold. Sam Darnold can flake. Well, so can the other guy, right?
Yeah. See, now
My
here's the
bet.
difference, though. Here's
Go
the
ahead.
difference, though. Stafford, sure, he will, but Stafford, he won't ever crack, though, right? Like if he loses a
No.
game, he loses it, right? But you've never heard
Yep.
anybody say that he's prone to collapse or he's prone to get
No.
the yips, like they talk about with Darnold. So Darnold has that to
Mhm.
work through. In some ways, I hope Darnold, gets that monkey
Overcomes.
off his back today. I hope he has a fourth quarter comeback, drives him down the field
Yeah.
flawlessly, no interceptions. So people can maybe give the guy a break.
Man, you know what it is? I think what one of the last games they played, it went to overtime. I think it was like 37-38.
Yes, it did.
And it was a Sam Darnold game-winning touchdown pass. You know what I mean?
We
So
talked about it
Darnold
back
has
then.
that. We did. So Darnold has it in him to
He's just got to.
actually come
He's
back.
just got to do it in the playoffs.
There you go. And that's the highest pressure situation
It's
in the
different.
NFC Championship game. It's
It's a
different.
different cauldron of pressure.
There you go. Ask Josh Allen about that.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Ask Lamar about that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It hits
It's a
different.
it's a
Oh,
different animal.
yes, sir. So I'm going Rams just due to the fact of experience. It's
Yeah.
really, really tough for me to see the Rams losing, but guess what? It could happen. If I'm taking any betting lines, I think I might mm, I might
What's the
take the
line on
Rams
this?
on this.
What's the
The
line
line
on
on
this?
it,
2.5.
it's 2.5. Yeah, field goal type of game they're saying, and it's gonna be over under 46. Ooh, I might take the
Mm,
under on that. I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah,
Nah.
maybe the Rams.
Nah.
I don't
I,
know. What
I
do you
I would
think?
take the over on that.
There you go. Okay, go
And
ahead. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, probably the Rams to cover, but I still think that
Mhm.
Seattle's going to win this game. I
Let's
just kind of
go.
feel like
Let's
I
go.
just kind of feel like it's their year.
Let I like it. We'll circle back closer to the Super Bowl and we'll talk about what our findings are, and we'll give a
Yeah, yeah.
big Super Bowl preview in
Wow.
about 2 weeks from now. Even
Next,
right
yeah,
before the
2 weeks
game.
from now, man, we'll run down these games and what happened in our pregame summary, right? But
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
I think it's going to be a lot to talk about.
Oh man, it's gonna be a lot to talk about. And before we do that though, and we leave y'all to it, let's give our awards, man. Let's give some awards out. Let's give some appreciation, some you know what I mean, unk and few honors. How about that? Whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So let's go first with our MVP of the season. Unk, without further ado, who is your NFL MVP for this season?
Oh man, I hate having to make a
Mm,
final decision on this one, but
man, it's
it
tough.
being the quarterback award, et cetera. I mean, I'm leaning towards Drake May. I don't see where he hasn't done
Okay.
what is I don't see where he hasn't done what's necessary. As far as
Mhm,
that award is concerned. I also gave it to him as well too, just with this
mhm.
whole changing of the guard theme. Like it's a bit of a push by
Yes.
me. Throw him out there because I think I think if the tie goes to let's call it like this, like a baseball analogy. Him and Stafford are tied, and the tie goes to the runner. In this case, May.
Mm, there you go. There you go.
Right? So
Nice.
because
Nice.
his legs give him a dimension that Stafford does not have. Right. And so if it's really between those two guys, I'm gonna give it to May. Because they both
Mhm.
accomplished a heck of a lot this season. And
Sure.
yeah, let's get on with it. I am all about
Yeah.
this changing of the guard in the NFL that's been happening in 2025. I'm all about it. So yeah, give it to Mr.
That
May.
is a huge changing of the guard. That's passing of the torch. That's a New England quarterback not named Brady
right?
taking
With a
that
coach not
MVP.
named Belichick. It's so weird to
It's
feel these
strange, brother.
feelings like it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can cheer for this Pats team. It's okay. They're not the Pats of old. Right?
Yo, and Vrabel, I like Vrabel, man. He seems like such a good coach, cool
Although
coach.
he is a Belichick tree guy, isn't he? Like, didn't Vrabel
Well,
coach the offense or
yeah.
whatever?
Here's the weird part. I don't think he is. I think he coached elsewhere. He
Oh,
never coached underneath the Pats. I'm gonna Google it
yeah.
and
Go
make sure
Google
I have
it
the right
quick because I'm
information.
sure that there's a Belichick connection with Vrabel, but I might be confusing him with Patricia.
Yeah, I think it might be Patricia because at least the thing about Vrabel that's interesting is I don't think. Okay, so let's look at his information right here. Wikipedia. He was Ohio State's linebackers coach. By the way, he went to Ohio State. He was Ohio State defensive line coach, then became a Houston Texans linebackers coach, Houston Texans DC in 2019.
Okay.
Then he became a Tennessee Titans head coach,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. So he's never
So
coached
okay.
under Belichick
Where
ever.
I got this idea that Vrabel was in New England. It's weird.
No. So he wasn't under his coaching tree. He was more so underneath maybe another coach, but
Yeah.
but obviously he
Well,
played.
whoever the head
Belichick.
coach was in Houston when he went first in there would be
Yeah,
his coaching tree.
there you go. That's a fact.
Who,
That's a
who
good.
was the head coach in Houston when he joined them?
Let me go down here and find out. I believe this was 20. Yeah. So here it says Vrabel was hired. No. Let me go up. Yeah, Houston Texans. Vrabel was hired by the Houston Texans as a linebackers coach during his 3 seasons as a linebackers coach. The Texans ranked third in yards per game. In January 2016, news outlets reported that San Francisco 49ers offered him a defensive coordinator job, but he declined the offer and stayed in Houston. In 2017, Vrabel was named the defensive coordinator after previous coordinator Romeo Crennel to assistant head coach. I'm not too sure who was the coach in Houston in 2017. I'm gonna find out, but I'm
Sounds
gonna
to
give
me like
Vrabel. Yeah,
sounds to me like he worked under Romeo Crennel.
could be that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So it was Brian Billick. Yeah, Brian Billick.
Oh, okay.
So he comes from the Brian Billick coaching tree. Who was
Good
the
coaching
Belichick guy?
tree.
Yeah,
Good coaching tree.
yeah, man.
Billick's one of my favorites. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
The original
Interesting.
Baltimore guy,
Yeah,
the original Mel Kiper hair. Then he went on TV for a
yes, sir.
while. I always thought Brian Billick was just a smart cat.
Very smart cat, man. I look at it like this, man. It should be fun to see. In terms
Yeah,
of MVP on my end, I'm actually gonna go with old man Stafford, man. I'm gonna go with Stafford. I'm gonna go with
we're getting a lot of
Stafford.
we're getting a lot of dynamics in this week's podcast,
Yeah,
buddy. We
man.
just be
Yeah,
like,
man. I didn't expect this. I thought we were gonna, you know what I mean? But hey, I like it though. We're gonna
it's the
see what
best way.
happens.
It's no
Let's
fun
go.
if everybody agrees.
Facts. I got Stafford for the simple fact that 43 touchdowns, 8 picks, 4,000 some yards.
It's pretty
He is
amazing.
pretty. This is his best season of his career, man. In my opinion, I got him as the
43-8.
MVP.
43
Yeah,
8. Woo!
come on, man.
Yeah.
That's hard to argue them
Come
numbers.
on, bro.
And I think this weekend is gonna affect. We're talking about what happens at the end of this weekend could affect those voters. I don't know if they voted prior or
I
after. I
don't
don't
think
know,
they
but
voted yet. It's kind of weird how they don't vote until the playoffs are over. I mean, talk about
yeah, it's
bias,
weird,
right?
a little strange, bro.
Talk
Yeah,
about your bias.
we'll
But
think about it. We'll see. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
keep hearing Mina Kimes saying that she's going to vote for May, and that was this week. So it leads me to believe that they haven't voted as yet.
There you go. Yeah, I think there might. I don't know when their voting is, but I think this weekend's gonna affect their voting because
You
they
think?
don't want to say it. The playoff games affect the
You
vote.
think?
That's my guess.
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
What do you? We're talking about defensive player of the year. Who you got? I think we got the same guy. I think there might be
Yeah,
some
yeah.
agreement
You
here.
kind of got to give it up to Miles Garrett in the year that he gets the sack award, right? Like,
Come on, yes sir, yes
yeah.
sir. Uh,
He
just
might have chipped out a little bit in games 12 through 15, but he eventually brought it around. But yeah, Miles Garrett, man, on
yeah.
a bright spot on a bad team.
Shout out to Miles Garrett, 23 sacks officially. Now, there's gonna be that argument from people. It took him 17 games, took TJ Watt less games and such
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
Regardless of how you look at it, 23 sacks is 23 sacks, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's his record now. It's his
It's his
record now.
record.
And whatever you want to
Yeah.
say about it, it's more than anybody else.
There you go. It's more than anybody else. And he did it, like you said, on a horrible team, brother. Cleveland Browns. They
And
don't
how
even
old
have
is
a
he
coach.
now? How old is Miles Garrett now? Is he even 30?
He's 29. He's younger
Right.
than me. He's
So
29.
sobering, isn't it?
Crazy.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, my guess is that now that he's got a taste of 23, my guess is that he gets 25, like either this year or the next, and
Wow.
finally just obliterates the record. And yeah, I think this is a 2-act play where he gets
Right.
the record and then he puts the record out of reach and establishes a whole
Oh,
new barrier, debate-free barrier where nobody fucking mentions those old guys again.
I think that's in play, brother. You're absolutely right. But guess what? I'm gonna say something. Whatever. I'll say it anyways. I think he's gonna ask for a trade, man. In the next few years, I think he's gonna want a piece out of Cleveland. You know
Oh,
what sucks,
probably.
man?
When does he
He,
become a free agent?
he did sign a 5-year contract last year, right?
Oh
Or
no! Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. He got the
yeah,
money back last year. So, yeah,
yeah,
he might force a trade, I guess. But I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see.
I hate,
Linemen can be, with the exception of a few couple of guys over the years, right?
right.
Minister of Sacks there, Reggie White, and a couple other guys. Usually, defensive guys are content, right? They're like,
Right,
whatever.
you're right. You're right. My only thing is
They
I
tend to
just
be
would
less
hate to see
egotistical.
I'd hate to see him finish his career without a ring, you know? Like think about how great he played to finish a career without getting that Lombardi. That's tough. At least that's
Yeah,
how I would feel. I'll just say that.
yeah,
You know
but
what I
that
mean?
happens to
Maybe I'm
so many
projecting.
guys.
That's so true.
There's so many heroes that are ringless in the NFL. Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
just doesn't always work out. It's
How about you on your end for the final thing? We'll talk about the offensive player of the year. Who do
tough
you
one.
have? That's a pretty
It's a
tough cookie
tough
for that one.
one. In a
Yeah.
year in which the running backs regressed a little bit compared to what they were doing the year before. Right, there was no
Right.
serious challenge to 2,000 yards this year.
Mm,
We saw the
mm,
breakdown of both Mr. Henry and Saquon Barkley in response to
yeah.
all those freaking carries.
Right.
Yeah. So that leaves us with who? What's his face over in Indianapolis? There, Taylor, and he.
Jonathan Taylor.
What
Yeah.
did he run? What did he run for? 1,800 yards, something not super
Yeah.
spectacular.
He did he didn't do that much. He actually slowed down around the end.
Right.
Let me just bring
Exactly.
down his stats.
Exactly. He just
He slowed down.
he dominated like the running back game in a year that the running backs were down, and
Right.
that's not a product of Taylor in any way, shape, or form. He's a fine running back,
Right.
but it
Mhm.
wasn't really an MVP kind of year because
No.
he's received an MVP, right? So we've seen what MVP level Taylor looks like, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
so he's kind of off the table. I'm kind of
Mm.
left. I'm kind of left with
Okay.
a coin flip between Puka Nakua and JSN out in Seattle. Both those
Right.
guys had almost identical numbers, and they both had like over 100 yards receiving. It wasn't even close versus the other receivers. Like they both had like something like 1,750 yards, right, as a wide receiver. Why those are running
Mhm.
back numbers, right? Like that's pretty impressive. So
Yeah.
I think it's between those two guys. I
Mhm.
think I kind of want to watch today's game before I put a verdict out. But my initial reaction is just to say Puka, just because he's
Yeah.
so valuable after the catch. It's just crazy. But then again, so is JSN, right? Like
Yeah.
they both stack up their cheddar over the middle of the field and yards after the catch, right? They're both
Yeah.
devastating runners. You could throw them on jet sweeps, reverses, like all this type of thing, because their legs are, they're excellent runners, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think one of those two guys would be my most valuable offensive player in the NFL this season.
Very, very nice, man. I went a bit left field personally, and I
You
gave
have
this
to
man
this
two
season.
awards. Yeah, I'm giving this man two of the awards. I'm giving him Offensive Player of the Year and Comeback Player. I'm giving it to CMC, man. Christian McCaffrey. Now,
Okay.
that last game was horrible. I'm gonna keep it real. Brody looked a little injured. Seahawks took his soul, but the man damn near went for 1,000. I think he was like 20 yards away from the
Right.
receiving 1,000. But Christian McCaffrey ran for 1,000 something, 200 some yards on the ground. So 1,200 something, 10 TDs just from
Avoided
running,
injury. He's like the
avoided injury.
the only 49ers skill player to avoid injury. Like that's
Straight
remarkable.
up. Played all
In a way,
17 games. Yeah,
I can
I
see
think
the
it was
light of
most
this
valuable,
argument,
man.
right? I can
Yeah.
see the light of this argument in that he really
Mhm.
was the most valuable player by a long shot on his
Oh
team.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, and so
Mhm.
in a year in which there really isn't a standout dominant, I can see the merits of that argument.
Yeah, man. At least from how I see it, because if you look at the Niners stats wise, right? He led his team in receiving yards, catches, obviously rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, everything. All those stats offensively were McCaffrey. It didn't matter who was at quarterback, whether it was Mac Jones, whether it was Purdy. One guy stayed consistent offensive wise, and that was McCaffrey. So I wanted to give him, in
On
my
a 12
opinion,
and 5 playoff team, no less, right? So yeah, I can
12
see the
and
merit.
5
I can see
team.
the merits of that.
Yes, sir. But guess what, man? That's the end of the show, man. We're gonna catch up and see these games. Unc, are you excited like I am? I'm excited. I'm hyped up.
Oh yeah, I'm mad excited, man. Like I said, this might be the best playoffs I can remember in years. Like
Oh,
it has been revelatory. It's been different. It's been dynamic. We've seen a lot of sea change carrying on right now. We're seeing a changing of the guard. I think
yes.
this was a very, very interesting NFL season, and the playoffs are just turning into a banger, just weekend after weekend of fantastic games. Like the most
Yeah.
crazy thing was, I think, it was in the divisional
Yeah.
round, like out of the 8
Yeah.
games, the winners of all of those of 7 of 8 of those games were losing 2 minutes prior to the end of the game. It's
Really?
like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
some
you know what?
crazy.
You're absolutely right. It was like a lot of crazy fourth quarters. Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
seen that?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the one who brought it up.
Yes, that's right. You did bring it up.
But yeah, no, this might be the best playoffs I remember in I don't know how many years, brother.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say it, you're absolutely right. I have not been on the edge of my seat in more
As
playoff
often.
games in this as often this January, bro. Like just Caleb Williams alone. Just start off with Caleb Williams, and then we
Mm.
go out to everything else. The games have been fun and great. And you know how we know that's true? A lot of these are the most watched telecasts. A lot of the numbers have came out, like the Broncos Bills game. That game had like 54 million people.
Are you
That's the
serious?
highest telecast. Yeah, yeah.
That's like
And I
Super
think
Bowl numbers
ESPN.
20 years ago.
Ye- Straight up, yes, you're correct. Yes, the most viewed telecast on ESPN for a live event or something crazy like that. And the Seahawks game also had some high numbers too, and it was a beatdown as well. So it's like these games are being watched, and fans are getting what we love, which is good
Mhm.
football. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely
Yes,
true. That is so
yes.
freaking true. We are getting what we love.
Oh man, appreciate you, appreciate everybody watching the replay. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Let's watch these games, brother.
Yes,
Let's
I.
go.
Yes, I. Everybody go out there, be
Yeah.
safe, stay warm, and hunker down and watch them games, boy.
Yes, sir. And we out. Unc and Few. Deuces.
Peace.